Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with only one Aerodactyl was a weird and fast solo run. Let's follow that up with something that looks harder. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Black with a team of only one Vanillite? Alright, I'm pretty pumped for this one. It looks really fun on paper. Vanillite is a first form ice type with really low stats, a little bit lower than a first form starter. We've got awful health and not very good speed, but our special attack and special defense aren't too bad. Our attack and defense aren't horrible either, but they are low. We might need a special attack nature if we want to hit hard enough to win. By level up, we get a lot of cool moves, pun intended. We start with Icicle Spear, we get Mirror Shot of all things, Ice Beam is amazing, and we even get interesting desperation moves like Sheer Cold. I figure that Icicle Spear could be good with an item to raise our crit rate, kinda like in that Clink run. Other than that, Ice Beam will be our main move. By TM, we don't actually learn all that much that I'm interested in, although we do get Frost Breath. It's only 40 power, but it crits every time like Storm Throw. So 40 power plus 50% for the same type attack bonus, so that's 60 power. Doubled for a crit for 120 power. That's the same strength as Blizzard and more accurate. Then again, with the same type attack bonus, Blizzard would do more, and I think that Ice Beam would too. Not sure if that's worth it. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. This is gonna be really close. I'm confident that I can make it to the final end fight, maybe even the Getsus fight, but I haven't really got a clue if I'm actually gonna win in the end. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Vanillite. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Snivy with Vanillite so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Chocolate. We just have a very deceptive appearance. Our ability is Ice Body, so we heal when it's hailing. It's only 1/16 of our max health though, so it's really not much. I doubt it's gonna come in handy. Our nature is Naive, so that's more speed and less special defense. I mean, less of any stat makes me worry this run, but I do think the extra speed could save us in otherwise unwinnable fights, so I'm gonna take it. Alright, so I kinda think this is gonna be one of those runs where the early game is really hard. We're probably gonna have to grind before we can beat the first gym because of their fire type, and we basically always have to grind before the second gym. I'm expecting this to be a pretty slow run for at least the first half. Maybe things will speed up around the ground and flying gyms, but for the most part, I'm expecting to lose most major fights on the first try. Who knows though, maybe I'm overly worried. Maybe something like a Scope Lens alongside with Icicle Spear is gonna be way stronger than I think and will be a sweeping machine. I can dream. Alright, let's go and try and get these early fights done and over with. Alright, so the first Cheren fight goes fine. Yeah, we hardly hurt Tepig, but it only used Ember once, so it didn't hurt us too bad. I do think we might just faint to Incinerate once we get to the first gym, though. Usually if I lose almost half my health to Cheren, then we lose the first gym fight. Alright, we're gonna have a nightmare grind, aren't we? Check out the first gym. We didn't even make it to the Pansear. I know I flinched twice, that was just bad luck, but I was also lucky to hit 5 spears in the first place. I need some levels without a doubt. So I very slowly grind up 3 levels against incredibly low-leveled Pokemon and come back. Lilpup was a million times easier with it hardly hurting us, and even being slower than us so we couldn't flinch. Pansear had me worried though. We lucked out with a 5-hit Icicle Spear to take it to half health as he used Workup, but then his Incinerate hurt us a ton. We hit our Icy Wind right after to drop his speed though, so we could go first on the last round, hitting 3 Icicle Spears to knock him out. If we hit 1 less spear or didn't make him slow enough for us to get the speed advantage, then we would have lost. That was close. After that is another Cheren fight, but this one went just fine. He's hardly stronger than the last time, so it's not really a problem. I'm not sure how N is gonna go though. Seems like every trainer I fight can resist ice. Okay, N was actually pretty easy, although a big part of that was good luck on Icicle Spear. I'm sure Timber could have really messed us up if we weren't that lucky. It doesn't matter though, does it? We all know I'm just gonna get squashed in the normal gym. Yup, got totally destroyed. We lose attack to Intimidate, and we're slower, so we just get rocked by Takedown, and even with a lucky 5-hit Icicle Spear, we can't take out our first Pokemon. I can't even be disappointed. I have to grind for this gym in nearly every Pokemon Black run. So I grind up a whole 6 levels and finally we stand a chance. Right away we hit 5 Icicle Spears to nearly take out Herd here, but it hits Takedown so the recoil damage finishes it off. Next is Watchog, and I thought that I would go down to Retaliate, but it just missed Hypnosis as we hit Icy Wind to gain the speed advantage. Our next Spears only hit 3 times, so she survived and brought us to only 5 health. Then she healed with a Super Potion as we hit only 2 Spears. I thought I was gonna lose, but my next Spears crit for a win. Hey, I thought that was gonna be worse. Okay, now is the exciting part of the run. I get my hands on a Scope Lens. I remember this thing totally saved us in the Clink run where we were using Gear Grind as our main attack. Now I know a crit on Icicle Spear isn't quite as strong since each spear is only 25 power, unlike the 50 power of Gear Grind, but we are going to end up critting a lot more often just from the sheer quantity of attacks we do in the first place. I doubt this is going to be some kind of amazing sweeping technique that's going to carry us through, but I do think that is going to make at least this middle chunk of the game a lot easier. I might replace it with Never Melt Ice once I have Ice Beam, but for now I'm hoping that this combo can carry us through the Bug Gym, a few rival fights, and maybe the Electric Gym too. We might have Ice Beam by then though, who knows. Hey, at least Emolga will be weak against our ice moves, that'll be cool. Let's go get some wins. So first is the Bug Gym, and right away it starts weird. We hit 4 times as we lose defense to Screech, then he uses a Hyper Potion. So then we hit 5 Spears just for him to survive and use another Hyper Potion. After that though, we took him out without getting hit. Dwebble hit Smackdown to nearly take us out in 1 hit thanks to a Screech earlier, but we made him faint. Problem is, last is Leavanny, and although I'm sure that I'd take him out in 1 hit, he's faster and takes us out. Man, that was so close. I'm sure a few levels could save me though. Getting past Whirlipede without losing defense would probably get us the win. So after grinding for ages just to gain a few levels, we easily took out Whirlipede without losing any defense. We had awful luck missing Mirror Shot twice and getting Sand Attacked against Dwebble, but at least it was a one-shot now. And last is Leavanny, who just gets some big hits in on us thanks to us missing, but once we hit with Icicle Spears, we won. I really hope that I max out my effort values soon, because having to overlevel this much is brutally slow in Gen 5. Next is Bianca, so our attack is down from Intimidate right from the start because of Herd here, but we instantly crit and took it out. Next is Dewott, who we almost took out right away, but he just kept healing, then wasting time with weird stuff like Water Sport instead of just fighting us. I bet he could have made us faint if he just kept fighting, but we never took another hit because of his awful move choice. Moana was super easy, it fainted before it could hit us, but last is Pansear, so I was worried. We hit really hard right away with a crit, but it hung on with a Sliver, hit a weak Incinerate, then we finished it off. It's crazy how the Bianca fights that are normally an afterthought are actually a bit of a challenge this run. Next round is another Cheren fight. Well, obviously his flying type went down right away, but Pignite actually hit us really hard with Flame Charge. I'm gonna keep trying. Maybe if I don't get hurt too badly, then Avalanche could work. 4 tries later where we kept losing, and we got this one where the damage worked out just right that we finally beat Pignite without losing all of our health, although it's incredibly low. Pansage is a one-shot, but the Sandstorm damage is really building up. As Liepard came out, I thought that we'd take it out right away, but we were 1 spear short. He finished us off with Pursuit and survived with a Sliver. He got so lucky there. I'm sure I can beat this in a few more tries. Okay, so 3 tries later, and we get through the fight with extremely slightly more health. I figured we'd lose again, but in the end, we left Liepard with a very slightly smaller sliver of health, so when the round ended, he fainted to the Sandstorm. If it was that rough, then you know the Electric Gym is gonna be horrible. Will N go well at least? Well, N actually ended up being pretty easy on the first try. It for sure could have gone worse, since his fire type missed Fire Punch, and Scrafty took out about half of our health with Brick Break, so if they both hit, then I think that I would have fainted. But I lucked out and got a win on the first try, so at least we get to the Electric Gym fast. Hey, we even learned Ice Beam on our way in. As nice as Icicle Spear can be, Ice Beam is a lot more reliable. Well, at the Electric Gym, we can one-shot the Emolgas, but the problem is that we're slower than our whole team, and they Volt Switch every turn. Zebstrika can take an extra hit, and since we go down in 3 hits and she's got 3 Pokemon, we can't win without the speed advantage. After a slow grind to level 38, we were doing a lot better. We still lost on the first try just thanks to taking too much damage, but on the second try our Ice Beam froze Zebstrika, so we didn't take the extra damage that would normally make us faint. We won, but it still took some luck. Last is Cheren on the way out of town, and right away we get hit by Fake Out from Liepard, but it hardly hurts and we just finished it off next round. For Pignite, we do less than half his health in damage with Ice Beam, and he takes out more than half of ours, so I figure I was gonna lose, when I got super lucky on Icicle Spear, hitting 4 times and critting on the last one for a knockout. Pansage never hit us, but last was Tranquil, who actually hits Quick Attack. Thankfully, it didn't do too much, so we won. But that was a close call on Pignite. Okay, that was a lot of fights, but we finally have just a little bit of travel where I can level. The cold storage has a bunch of trainers that I can fight for levels, but more importantly, it has Never Melt Ice, an item that I can hold to give 20% more power to ice moves. I figure the Scope Lens is better if I'm using Icicle Spears, and the Never Melt Ice is better if I'm using Ice Beam. So I might switch back and forth depending on the fight. I'm not totally sure yet. I do think that the Never Melt Ice and Ice Beam will be my main strategy for fighting your average battle from now on, though. It's just more reliable. Anyway, the next gym is the ground gym, so I figure that it might not be too bad unless they hit us with a big rock or steel move. Bianca on the way out of town shouldn't be too hard, although it was kinda hard last time. And the flying gym is usually easy, but I kinda think that the Charged Stone cave fight with N might be annoying. He's got some rock and steel type Pokemon. We're really not great at handling those. We'll see. Maybe with the extra power on ice moves, this won't be so bad. Oh yeah, and I need to pick up Return so that I have a good normal type move. Right now, both water and fire types resist all of our moves, so by adding this to the moveset, the only type that we have no answer for is Steel. And yeah, I know some people don't like when I use Return because they think that it's too strong, but I feel like in this challenge of all challenges, it's understandable considering I'm currently trying to beat the game with an ice cream cone. Yeah, Avalanche is a good move and it sucks to replace it, but I don't think it's reliable long term. It's negative priority, and we just can't afford to take many hits on account of the aforementioned issue that we're an ice cream cone. I'm not tanky enough to rely on Avalanche, but I'm just strong enough that Return could probably save us a few hits against those fire types that keep messing us up. So the first try at the ground gym starts great as you would expect, but the moment we get to Excadrill, it just uses Hone Claws and then Rock Slide to one-shot us. I mean, I guess I could level until I'm faster than him and win, but I think I want to just keep trying the fight. Rock Slide misses like 1 in 10 times, and I'm confident that if he missed, I would win the fight. Okay, so I tried again and quickly realized that, oh yeah, Hone Claws increases accuracy, so waiting for a miss is probably a terrible idea. Hey, at least it only took me 1 try to remember that. I'll just fight some trainers and then come back. Well, this isn't good. I came back 2 levels later and now I'm faster, but they hit Bulldoze to drop my speed, then Rock Slide to finish me off. Okay, well, at least that means no Hone Claws. Maybe I can keep trying until Rock Slide misses, but I'm worried that his last Pokemon might be faster than us because of Bulldoze. I'm gonna keep trying a bit longer. Well, this was weird. A few tries later, instead of using Bulldoze, he used Rock Slide. Well, that means we survive, and we're still faster, so we take him out, and then we one-shot his last Pokemon. Gotta love it when they just throw the fight. Next is Bianca though, and this one's tough too. We one-shot her here, but we still lose attack to Intimidate. Pansear's nearly a one-shot, but it hangs on and hits us to take out half of our health. It kept healing with Hyper Potions, but we still took it out. Dewott is next, and it's a 2-shot, so it ends up hitting us with a super strong Revenge to drop us to a Sliver. Then as we take it out, Musharna comes in. It takes a hit, then finishes us off with Psybeam. Okay, well, we're incredibly close to one-shotting Pansear, so I figured just a couple levels and we can win this easily. Alright, I grinded up 3 levels, and now we got our one-shot on Pansear, so the fight was pretty easy. It took 5 different trips to the Poke Center to restore power points just to gain 3 level ups. I'm pretty confident that we've maxed out our effort values by now though, so it's safe to start using rare candies instead of grinding the slow way if I really need to. Thankfully, N was super easy. It's been a while since we had an easy fight. We didn't even take a hit. I figure the flying gym should be pretty easy too, although the Cheren fight after might be hard. Now believe it or not, but we actually lost the first try at the flying gym thanks to flinching off some air slashes, but on the second try we won with a decent bit of health left. Seems like any time we don't have the speed advantage, we take massive damage, so I'm really happy that I went with this positive speed nature, because otherwise, this easily could have been a lot worse. After that is Cheren, and right away we were outsped and hit by Unpheasant, so we took some damage before taking it out. Second is Pick Knight, but we got really lucky with it missing takedown, so we just hit twice to make it faint. I thought that we had this one when Simisage was next, but it was faster than us and hit really hard with Seed Bomb before we one-shot it. So last is Liepard, who just hits a fake out, then assistance to knock us out. Once again, anytime we're slower, we're likely doomed. I need to level up until I'm faster, especially considering that was a run where Pig Knight didn't even hurt us. So I bump up by 2 more levels, and that's all it took to be faster than his whole team. Yeah, we still took a lot of damage, and Takedown hit us this time, but Liepard in the end just didn't use Fake Out, so we finally got a win. Well, we're traveling again, and we don't have many fights left, but you know this is only going to get harder. We have the Ice Gym, the Bianca fight, the Dragon Gym, then that last Cheren fight. Figure that the Ice Gym should be easy with Mirror Shot, and the Dragon Gym has gotta be easy with Ice Beam, but both of those last rival fights are gonna be hard. Feel like we've had issues with our rivals the entire game. Then once we hit the Elite Four, you know it's gonna be a brick wall for ages, without a doubt. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, I want to beat the Ice Gym and get that TM for Frost Breath. It's not as strong as Ice Beam, even with the crits, but I figure that if I'll ever have issues with something like Calm Mind or Amnesia, then I'll want it. Who knows, maybe I'll never end up using it, but I at least want to keep it in mind in case it ends up being useful. So at the Ice Gym, I actually thought that it might be hard because Mirror Shot wasn't going to do as much damage as I was expecting. But Bryce found a whole new way to be useless. He used Swagger, powering me up so much so that I could sweep him with Return. It's like he saw that I wasn't doing enough damage and decided to fix it for me. I think Bryce might be a fan of the show. He just wants to entertain us. Maybe I've been too hard on him. How much you want to bet we lose the Bianca fight? On our way there, though, I took the Plume Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone asks anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. So right away, we lose attack to Stoutland's Intimidate, as well as a good chunk of health to Retaliate before we get a 2-shot. And second is Simisear, who's faster than us, and really messes us up with a Flame Burst, even despite the rain. We had only 1 health as he went down. Next is Samurott, though, who gets us with Aqua Jet. Man, if that's how tough Simisear is during the rain, then we don't stand a chance right now. I'm gonna bump up to level 60. We seriously need to be stronger. Wow, even at level 60, and with better luck against Simisear, we take huge damage. We get to Samurott with more than before and even land a hit, but we came nowhere close to knocking him out. Normally the brick wall fights where we have to level a ton in the late game don't really start until the Elite Four, but this feels like a huge jump in difficulty. It wouldn't shock me if we had to be close to level 70 before we can win this one. Alright, so I tried more at level 65, and things are a lot more in our favor. We nearly one-shot Stoutland at the start, but we don't, so it hits us and uses some hyper potions as we keep hitting it. Eventually, it does go down. We even took way less damage from fire moves, but it didn't matter. Despite being faster than Samurott and dealing solid damage, it's still not quite enough for a 2-shot, and it wouldn't matter anyway since we were just getting taken out by Revenge. Well, you know what? At level 70, we can for sure get to Samurott with a lot more health. I think that we'll win at level 70. This is unreal! Level 70, we can one-shot Stoutland and hardly get hurt by Simisear, and yet, we still can't bring Samurott to half health with a Return, and we just get taken out by Revenge and Aqua Jet. I promise you, I had no idea that Bianca was going to be this hard. I thought it would be a difficult fight, but I didn't think I'd need so many levels just to stand a chance. Sorry if I sound really nasally, by the way. I swear it wasn't when I woke up, but I've been sneezing this whole voiceover. I have so many sneezes to edit out, you have no idea. I think I'm getting sick. Okay, finally at level 75, and we still take a Flame Burst, but it doesn't do too much. Samurott uses Aqua Jet twice instead of using Revenge on Aqua Jet, so it goes down for the first time. Masharna puts us to sleep, but then wastes time with Defense Curl, so we wake up and take it out. I'm telling you, if she just used Revenge then Aqua Jet like last time, I bet we still would have fainted. What an awful fight. Thankfully, the Dragon Gym was crazy easy, as I'm sure you expected. Feels good to finally have an easy fight after how brutal that last one was. Kinda think that Cheren will be a lot easier than Bianca was. Wow, the last Cheren fight was so easy that we hardly got hurt at all. Even despite him having a pretty powerful fire starter, we were perfectly fine because he just didn't use any fire moves. I mean, I thought that it would be easier than Bianca, but I didn't think it would be that easy. Alright, the last couple fights were easy, but as you saw from the Bianca fight, we are pretty much useless when we fight stuff that we can't one-shot. That makes me think that the Elite Four is gonna go awful. Like, to the point that I think that I'm not gonna win the run. Maybe we beat the Elite Four by level 100, but I find it pretty unlikely that we actually beat Getsus at the end. If there's any member of the Elite Four that's gonna be awful though, it's Marshall. I just hope that Icicle Spear will be strong enough for a one-shot, because that might help me bypass the Sturdy ability. Now that we're the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. I have to say, I'm kind of baffled by my attack. I checked my stats like 3 different times this run, and each time my special attack was about 20 higher than my physical attack. Well, now my attack is way higher than my special attack, so I'm not totally sure what to make of that. I guess I lucked my way into a bunch of attack EVs, and my attack IVs are probably good too. I mean, either that or my special attack IVs are just awful. Maybe that means I should use Icicle Spear as my main move again. Should I ditch the Never Melt Ice and just go back to the Scope Lens for crits, or should I just take the reliable damage? Kind of a hard choice. I might have to mess around with both and just see what works. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ghost Trainer Chantel. I think you know how this one is gonna go, though. We do pretty well at the start against Cofagrigus, but as soon as Chandelure comes out, we're doomed. We actually can't learn a single move that isn't resisted by it as far as I can tell, so I figure that Chantel is gonna be the last Elite Four member that I can beat. Oh, this is a nightmare. I can tell that I sound incredibly nasally right now. If I can hear it myself while I'm talking out loud, you know it's gonna sound awful on the microphone. Second is Dark Trainer Grimsley. Right away we take out Scrafty in 2 hits, but his Brick Break takes out almost exactly half of our health. And second is Crocodile, who lowers our attack with Intimidate and actually outspeeds us, so we nearly faint to Earthquake before we one-shot him. After that is Bisharp though, and obviously he's not a one-shot, so we just go down. We're gonna lose to every Elite Four member, aren't we? Third is Fighting Trainer Marshall. First is Throw, who actually didn't hurt us that much with Bulldoze, and the speed drop wasn't enough to make us slower, so we got a pretty easy 2-shot. Problem is, next is Sock. We actually did fantastic damage with Icicle Spear, but we didn't hit much and he just took us out fast. I'm sure that with better spear luck we could have knocked him out, but then Mineshaw was just gonna be faster and take us out. Marshall's probably gonna be the second hardest Elite Four member for us to fight. Fourth is Psychic Trainer Caitlyn. Well, we take massive damage right away from Focus Blast, we land a 2-shot, then we go down right away to Gothitelle using Thunderbolt. And yet, I still think that this might be the easiest Elite Four member. Normally, I would get up to level 80 and keep trying, but we're so comedically weak compared to them that I think that I should actually just get to level 85 instead. I'm gonna keep trying this fight though. I'm convinced that Caitlyn is the easiest one to beat. Okay, so level 85. We now do tons of damage to Reuniclus, although it's not quite a one-shot. We lucked out though, and not only did Focus Blast miss, but she wasted a couple of full restores, so we got past it without taking damage. Second is Gothitelle, who goes down to 4 spears, so still no damage. Masharna only got hit twice by the spear, so she survived, but Psychic didn't hurt us that much, so we got the knockout on the next round. Last is Siglith, but of course we one-shot it since it's part flying. I think that we're probably at least ready for Grimsley. Next up is Grimsley, and we lucked out with a double crit on our Icicle Spears right away. Hey, that wasn't even with a Scope Lens, so that was really crazy. Completely unnecessary, but still cool. Crocodile is still just a one-shot, although we do lose attack, so against Bisharp, I'm using Ice Beam. We get a 2-shot, but we lose half of our health in the process. Last is Liepard, and Fake Out hurts us a bit, but then we get a 1-shot to take it out. You know what? Maybe we're actually ready for Marshall. Well, this time we take a lot of damage from Throw thanks to him using Stone Edge instead of Bulldoze, but at least our speed is intact as he goes down. Sock is still a threat, but this time Icicle Spear hit 2 times, so we got a knockout. I'm sure Conkeldurr would have made us faint right away, but we lucked out and got a lot of spears, so we just one-shot him. And last is Mineshaw, who I got 3 spears in on, so it also went down. If we just didn't hit that many spears on any of his team, then I think we would have lost. I still don't really think I'm ready for Chandelure yet, though. Alright, we're finally back to Chantel. Right away, Icicle Spear takes out Cofagrigus in 1 round, and second is Chandelure. We got crazy lucky on literally the first try though, not only hitting 5 spears, but 1 crit. If we didn't crit or hit 1 less spear, then we would have left her with a sliver. Go Lurk is of course a one-shot, but last is Jellicent, and even with us having full health, this was dangerous. Curse Body disables our Ice Beam, the spears hardly hurt, she uses 2 full restores, and the Surfs were chipping away at our health quickly. In the end, we only had 20 health left, and we were about to faint when she used her second full restore. I figured that we were doomed, but the spears and the Ice Beam did exactly enough damage to get the knockout. I cannot believe how close that was. We're actually gonna make it to N and gets us. Okay, first try at N, and of course we just one-shot Zekrom with Icicle Spears just fine. Second is Kling Klang, so I went for Ice Beam, and it was a one-shot thanks to it actually being a Zoroark. Caracosta is next, and Ice Beam did great damage, but then he crit Stone Edge to obviously one-shot us. It's not always gonna crit. I'll try a few more times and see how things go. Alright, well, on the next try we got super lucky and we froze Caracosta so it wouldn't hit us. But next is Archeops, who outsped us and one-shot us with a non-critical Stone Edge. I don't think we even would have gotten that far without a freeze. I'm gonna level up and keep trying. So I keep trying at level 90, but I keep getting hit by Caracosta's Stone Edge. As long as it doesn't crit, we stay up, but that's a lot of damage. We're faster than Archeops now, so it's a one-shot. But after that is Vanillite, and although we do good damage with Mirror Shot, Flash Cannon takes us out. Hey, maybe we do more damage with Return at this point. I'll try that instead. Nope, never mind. Return seems to do about the same amount of damage. Maybe I just need Stone Edge to miss, then I stand a chance? This could take quite a few tries. Okay, 3 tries later and Stone Edge misses, so we get to Vanillite with full health, and it totally changes the fight. He uses Hail, healing us because of our ability, although we had full health so it didn't really matter. 2 returns took him out. Last is Kling Klang, and Ice Beam did big damage. I was worried about something like Gear Grind taking us out, but he used Metal Sound instead, so we finished him off with full health. Well, that was not how I expected that to go at all. Okay, first try it gets us. We instantly get hit by Toxic because Ice Beam is slightly too weak to one-shot him. Alright, well, I'm gonna try again with Icicle Spears, since there's no way that I could win with Toxic on me. Okay, so after failing 5 times to only using 2 or 3 spears, we hit 4 spears for the win. Second is Hydreigon, and you'd think it would be easy, but it was faster and hit a huge Focus Blast before we took it out. So our health is low when Bisharp came out. We hit him for about half his health and damage, and he easily takes us out with Stone Edge. Well, if we get a few levels, then we should be faster than Hydreigon, then I'm sure we could get farther even if we get hit by Stone Edge. I mean, as long as it doesn't crit us, obviously. So at level 95, we're faster than Hydreigon now, so we can one-shot it without getting hit, and Stone Edge only takes us to about half health, so we take him down now too. Electros is next, and I was worried, but we crit for a one-shot, and after that is Buffaloon. We got pretty close to one-shotting it, but its head charge hit. I thought that we were going to faint, but we landed with only 11 health. We took it out, and last is Seismitoad, and we came really close to one-shotting it, but it hit Earthquake to finish us off. Well, you know what? I bet being level 100 would be enough for a win. We might need Stone Edge to miss, since I don't think that I could one-shot Electros without a crit, but I do think that this is possible. Wow. So first try at level 100, and although Stone Edge doesn't miss, it's because he never got to use it. We froze Bisharp. Next is Electros, who was actually a one-shot without a crit, and now we have a lot more health left after Buffaloon hits Head Charge. Seismitoad still hits Earthquake, but it doesn't hurt us too badly, and we actually won while still in yellow health. That was getting so close that I had my doubts, but we got a win in the end. I have to say that run was pretty brutal from start to end. I thought that the Icicle Spear with the scope lens would have made that run a bit easier than it was, but that was a brutal one. I'm still pretty happy that I won though. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Platinum, with a team of only fighting types. That game has some really fun fighting type Pokemon, so I'm looking forward to it. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. I didn't feel like I was getting sick when I first woke up this morning, but over the course of this voiceover, I've gotten really nasally, and my nose has been running, and I've been sniffling, and I've been sneezing like crazy. Like, it's crazy. I was not sneezing at all before the voiceover. I think I'm a little dehydrated too. I drank a bunch of water before this, but there's a heat wave going on, and it's a nightmare. But I have so much to do. If you've been paying attention to Twitter or the community posts or the streams or whatever, then you know that I am currently doing a big fundraiser to keep my business afloat. So I'm doing a big fundraiser, I'm doing a big Pokemon streamathon, playing a whole lot of Pokemon games. At the time that I'm doing this voiceover, I already did the first stream. It was PokeRogue, super fun time, that's already up and viewable on the channel. And I am streaming pretty much just a little while after this voiceover. I gotta get some food in me, gonna have a shower and get all cleaned up, then I'm gonna stream more PokeRogue. But I've already downloaded, Super Mario Mon and Pokemon Unbound. Those are 2 ROM hacks that you guys recommended that look really, really fun, so I'm gonna start streaming those soon. Most of the streams are gonna be on YouTube this time, although some of them might still be on Twitch. My Twitch is in the description. And of course, no matter where I end up streaming these streams, they'll get uploaded to the YouTube channel you're on right now anyway. If you go to my playlist section, you can find probably whatever it is that you're interested in. But I need to go get some food in me so bad. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.